Wikus Olivier, and he's a debt counsellor at DebtSafe. Good to have you. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, so planning ahead. What are we dealing with? What are we talking about by planning ahead?
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the hype, of the festive season. And if you don't plan ahead, it's going to catch you and sort of set you up for the new year in the red.
Yeah.
So planning ahead is just basically to know what you're earning, what bonuses you are going to get, and then what you're going to spend it on.
Yeah.
Not just running into a shopping mall and buying presents left, right, and centre.
Yeah. And say the bank will worry about that, because the bank's not going to worry about it. You're going to worry about it.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Okay, so in other words, you kind of break down. You look at what you're going to be earning, what your bonus is going to be, what your sort of expenditure is, what gifts you want to buy, what you need to pay off, whether it's more on the house or. Yeah. This is what you're talking about.
Yeah, all those things. From our point of view, in January we get the most inquiries, out of all the months throughout the year.
Yeah.
So it just shows that consumers are overspending on December holidays. There's traveling, there's partying, there's presents, and spending what you don't have. People dive into their credit cards if they don't have the cash to do it.
Yeah.
And it's important to know what you're able to spend, and then plan your expenditure accordingly to what you can afford.
It's so hard not to get caught up in the hype though of that Christmas spending. It doesn't matter where you go, you're being tempted by some of the most magnificent things, and the bottom line is, and I'm not sure if viewers are aware of it, basically everything during the festive season is much more costlier, whether it be restaurants, flights, accommodation, presents. It's everything comes at a premium. So how do you try and alleviate that?
Yeah, you need to shop around. I think there is still shops and venues where it is affordable, that has good prices, but people don't start early enough. And I've been talking to consumers since August, July, to start planning ahead for the festive season.
Yeah.
And started to buy presents back then already, because now you have to fit everything into 1 month if you haven't planned yet. And people should shop around. There's an example I can use. My wife and I just bought fridges, and the first place we went was very expensive, and we needed to shop around, and we ended up saving about 5,000 Rand just because we visited more than one place for the same thing.
Yeah. Do your homework.
Do your homework
and don't leave it for the last minute.
Exactly.
Two lessons I need to learn. I really do. But how do shops and advertising and marketing campaigns start changing around this time? Because they do. They really do.
Yeah, they put up a sale sign there, but it's not saying that it's actually an affordable sale. So be aware of it. If you go and buy something, check out the price. Is it a reasonable price for what you wanted to buy? And then if it isn't, move on to the next place. And also the differentiation between your needs and your wants. Really think about it. If you want to buy something, just step back a bit and maybe wait a day or two. Probably in 2 days' time, you're not gonna want to buy it anymore.
Yeah. Might become a little bit more rational as opposed to an irrational purchase.
Yes.
What about somebody who is in debt at a time like this, and you still want to experience the joy of giving and the joy of being able to spend, but you don't really have the means.
No.
What do you do?
I think it's important to manage expectations. Especially if you've got kids. And let's take the gifts example. Manage the expectations of your kids and tell them beforehand, when you budgeted, they're not going to get expensive gifts this season, or they're not going to get gifts at all. Because it's important that we remember what Christmas and this festive season is actually about. And people in debt, specifically credit cards, that's a big culprit.
Yeah.
Budget, see what your facility is on your credit card, and then plan ahead to pay it off within 3 months, because you don't want to pay this Christmas expenditure off by November next year. You sort of want to keep it reasonable.
Yeah. And people don't really realize the premium you're paying. Every month that you don't pay your credit card, it just goes up and up. The interest gets... It's ridiculous. So what you initially paid for instance, this book over there, you're paying 3, 4, 5 times the price.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's important to know your credit facility, know the interest that's applicable, and then use the one with the best interest rates. And then plan what you can afford, because those installments will set you back when the new year comes. So
just let's give some advice for overspending, because that's again, we get into the trap of overspending, and you may plan nicely, but then sort of you see something and you think, I can't not have it, and then you go over your budget, and it just starts steamrolling. So what do you advise in terms of that?
The first thing I would say is to just get the right state of mind. When you go into the festive season and you did plan for it, try your best to stick to it, because they're going to bombard you with marketing, with sales signs and everything, but stick to your budget and have the discipline. And then when you get in the stores, only buy what you plan to buy, because you don't need to buy presents for everyone. Just stick to it, and it's a discipline thing and a mindset thing, that they won't tumble you over, with all those marketing pitches.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think that's some good advice, but for more information, I know that there is actually you've got a toll-free line if people do need some advice. I can see there there's the website, it's debtsafe.co.za, but there is a contact number as well, that's 0861 100 900. So phone, get some advice, and like you say, January's the busiest time. Those phones are ringing off the hook, is that right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, what people do now will set them up financially for the new year, and it's important to sort of lay the foundation now. So January comes, you'll be fine.
All right, thank you for the advice. Thanks so much for joining us. Wikus Olivier, debt counsellor with DebtSafe. All right, let's take a look.